Greetings, welcome back. Today we'll be talking about the 2019 release by Madonna, Madam X. Now, Madam X came out 4 years after Madonna's previous effort, Rebel Heart, which had a lot of its demos leaked online months before it was planned to be released. These demos were early stages, they weren't the actual finished songs, and it caused quite a ruffle in the scheduling of the release. A lot of the dates were, pushed up, and honestly, I feel like the album was a bit rushed. The demos are quite good and have a warmth and authenticity to them, but the album itself, I felt, was overproduced and felt rushed at the same time. So it's like they put a lot of work really quick. Another problem was she worked with extremely popular producers such as Diplo and Kanye on the entire album, and I feel like there's only a few songs where she doesn't, and those songs I think really stick out as being the best. Also, there are several songwriters per song. There's just something very gimmicky about Rebel Heart. While there are some really good songs on it, I don't feel it's her strongest. So my expectations with Madam X were rather high and rather low. It's a Madonna record, so I definitely had the expectation it's going to be full of quality material. The first single, Medellín, came out, and Medellín, I can't pronounce it, by the way, so I'm going to mispronounce the title of the first song a million times. I do apologize. That song came out, I remember, and I had to listen to it 50 times to kind of get into it. But once you do get into it, it has a very strong chorus, a very strong bridge, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a great song she did with Maluma, and it really just set the bar quite high for the album. Madonna has been in the music industry as a success for 35 years. And for her to come out with an album like this, which is not a typical pop record overall in any sense, is quite brave, and definitely something that is much more interesting than Rebel Heart, her previous album. Now, fans of Rebel Heart might have been disappointed, as Rebel Heart, I feel, is one of her most, I would say, mainstream slash pop slash attempt to get, I would say, mainstream and just be more relevant. Kind of like her working overtime. It's just a bit embarrassing, and either way, this album doesn't really go for that nearly as much. There's some moments, but overall, I would say this is one of her most experimental works. I've heard a lot of people compare the album to Ray of Light from 1998. I would listen to Rebel Heart as a whole, and then put this album on. I wouldn't compare it anymore. It doesn't. To me, they don't compare. This doesn't have the ambiance of Ray of Light. And Ray of Light doesn't really have any politically charged songs. Both have world music, but they do it in a different way. This album is quite long. It's 15 songs. And I feel like maybe if they cut a few of the songs, it might have been more like Ray of Light. But there's just a lot of non-Ray of Light moments that kind of don't... they don't give you that sense of that, okay, this is Ray of Light Part 2. A lot of people, including Madonna, compared to American Life Part 2. Now, American Life, she released in 2003, was marketed strongly as a political album, although I feel it's not a political album at all. In fact, it's mostly just her talking about herself, including on the title track, American Life, where she just talks about herself and her struggles, living in a life that we assume to be, about being money and success and fame, and is a letdown. Although I don't see how that's political at all. This album actually does have some political songs. Not many, but it does. But one thing it does have that American Life did have is production by Mirwais. Once again, the songs are done by one or two, three, maybe three songwriters, and then two producers. So maybe three. So it's a lot more organic. And I never understood, why are there so many songwriters per song in a streaming era? Because streaming eras pay the artists based on streams. So if you're not selling records, it takes a lot of streams to get any money. And then once you do, you have to split that with like 10 people or 5 people just for the songwriting, plus the producers and the record label. I would assume this would be the era where people write songs by themselves because they want that, they want that money. Either way, this album does not go in that route at all, as Rebel Heart did, and a little bit of MDNA, which I am a fan of MDNA, which was her first album with Introspect Records and Live Nation. I feel it has some weak points, but I think it's an overall strong record. It's very rare on vinyl, so I do not have it, but maybe one day we'll review it. It's a good record, a good solid record, with a few little missteps. I would say this is her best album of the decade, and the best album of the decade. It's experimental, but it works, and I applaud Madonna for taking risks so late in her career. And I actually have tickets to see her in February in Paris, and I'm hoping A, it doesn't get canceled, and B, that she does not come out on stage at 12 midnight. I kind of feel like she will. She's known, she's canceled a lot of shows because of her knee injury. And they booked her so many nights in a row for the tour, in smaller, more intimate theaters, which is great, and they're sold out. The tickets are very expensive, but, people are, they're booking hotels, they're booking flights. So it's, it's a shame that she has to cancel. I understand. I just don't quite get why she comes out on stage so late. And this is not like because of the knee. She's been doing this, I think, since MDNA, maybe before, where people have actually complained, like celebrities who are at the show, like Reba McEntire, complained about the lateness. And, I mean, it's not great. I mean, if you got there, 5 minutes before it started, that'd be fine. But, I mean, if the ticket says 8:30 and then, you get there and at like 7:30 and then the show starts at 11:30, that's a long time. 4 hours? Yeah, 4 hours. Either way, let's talk a little bit about the album, which, like I said, was released in 2019. It debuted at #1 at so many countries, including the US and France and the UK, and basically showing that her album sales are still strong and she's still relevant in terms of albums. I know a lot of people may argue, well, for Madonna debuting at #1, but, no hit singles. There are a lot of artists from the 80s who continue to release material into the 2010s, 2020s, and they are not nearly as successful as that. They don't have a #1 debut. They don't, Although I found it funny that Madonna was competing with Bruce Springsteen on that day. His album came out the same day as this, and of course she won. But that reminds you of like 1984. I'm sure that they were, competing back then as well. During, that was his peak in terms of commercial success. And arguably, it might have been her peak, because I mean, she was the most relevant pop star, I would say, in like '85. Just being new and selling a lot. And, here we are, 35 years later, and she still has that drive and that I guess, music direction to be relevant. And I think she's more relevant when she doesn't try as hard, because I do feel Madonna does try to be relevant, and I don't know if that's a label thing, a manager thing, or her own personal attempts. I don't know, but I am happy this album is out. And that she, did take a risk and release something like this. So we'll talk about the first song, which is Medellín, I believe it's pronounced, with Maluma. This was the first single. It's what you have when you mix modern day reggaeton with Mirwais, basically. So like French electronica. It's not quite reggaeton. It would need like a pumped up remix, which unfortunately did not happen. The official remixes, while they're okay, none of them go in the reggaeton direction. So I kind of felt like they could have done that with the record in terms of promotion to push it more into like the Latin market, because I think it's pretty big. Like Made for Now with Janet Jackson, and of course Despacito with Daddy Yankee and Justin Bieber. Either way, I feel like Medellín is actually the best of that. pop stars working with reggaeton artists. Reggaeton has gotten a lot of flack. It gets a lot of flack from music critics and Latin music fans alike. It just isn't well liked, but it's very popular. So I understand why she did it, and then it's done in a way where the lyrics are so poignant and personal and beautiful. She's talking about letting herself go, being free, and forgiving herself for being herself. That's pretty deep. And then talks about sipping her pain like champagne in the rain, and it's like that's beautiful. You know, like it's a very beautiful song, and the lyrics do not get enough, I would say, praise from fans. They usually just focus on the fact that it's with Maluma, and I think that's a shame because it's a really well written song that she wrote with Mirwais, and it's just beautiful. And the chorus, well, I don't know what it is. I guess there's two bridges and the chorus. It's a differently structured song. But once Maluma and Madonna start singing together on the chorus, it's beautiful. They have great harmonies together, and I think they work really well together. You can tell they really have fun. I am not a fan of when Madonna works with somebody else for the most part. Like she has a song with Kanye West, which is not great. Their collaboration, they have no chemistry. She has one with Nas, which is pretty much even worse. The Britney Spears duet, not a fan. I don't like her songs with Justin Timberlake too much. I think he kind of ruins them. She doesn't really have any chemistry with him. But I do feel like she has chemistry with Maluma. And I did like the remix with Ricky Martin. So I think she does pretty well with Latin artists. I'd like to see more of that in terms of like Spanish music. And we'll get to why I said Spanish music, but it's definitely just a beautiful song. Fun, free. I would say it was a good idea to be a first single because of Maluma. It's maybe not the best song. It doesn't represent the album as a whole, but I do like it. And if you hear it, there is a little bit of ray of light in it. There's an ambiance type background when it starts off, and it's beautiful. It's cute. Yeah, it's a great song. Next song is Dark Ballet. This is where the album gets really experimental really fast. The vocoder effect on her voice is used. And the song is basically talking about, I would say, the public shaming her for still trying to make music at her age. It has a lot of references to comparing herself to like Joan of Arc, or how she's the one who's being insulted and commented on negatively just because basically just because she's not 25. But Jennifer Lopez is 50, and nobody really talks about Jennifer Lopez being over the hill or old or too old to be doing what she's doing. You really don't see that. And then even like you could argue, okay, Madonna's 60, that's 10 years older. But when Madonna was, I remember when Madonna was like 40, she got a lot of flack. So I'm not quite sure. Maybe because Madonna started her fame when she was in her mid-20s, and she'd been around. And I think Madonna has just pissed off a lot of people, it seems, because a lot of people tend to be harsher on her than others. But when you're a controversial artist, which Madonna is, you're going to have negative opinions, even when you're trying to be a legitimate, artist, which she is. I mean, the thing about Madonna that people often forget is she makes really good music. That's why she's famous. Her music, like, as controversial as she is, whether she's dancing in front of burning crosses or, simulating sex with dogs in a book, it's the music that really keeps people coming back. Because, yes, Like a Prayer may have done okay if it was just the video, but no, the song is amazing. And Erotica would just be forgotten. But no, it's an amazing album. So, I do get that controversy can turn people off, but I do see Madonna as kind of the punching bag for, all that. And I really don't feel that's just. I mean, she's not a perfect artist by any means. I mean, when she's working with Kim Kardashian or, with her gold teeth grill, I understand, okay, that's a bit much. That's a bit like, okay, there's no reason for her to you know, collaborate with Kim Kardashian on a skin makeup line commercial type whatever. But you know, I mean, overall, I would say she's been pretty consistent at being just a legitimate artist. And a lot of people don't see that. But Dark Ballet is very electro minimalist song, and then it goes into a sample of the Nutcracker. So kind of weird. The lyrics are good, but they stumble sometimes. It's not the strongest song on the album. It was made into a video, not a single, but a video. She's not really in the video, so it's not my favorite. I've watched it once. It's good. The song is good. I would like to see her perform it live. I think she does perform it live. And it's just a simple song. You have to listen to it to kind of know. It's experimental. It's different. It's not pop. But it's also, there's nothing really avant-garde about it. It's just something different for her. And, you know, her and Mirwais have done some songs that are really just not mainstream. Like Paradise Not For Me from the music album. That's an amazingly beautiful song. This doesn't quite capture that magic, but I definitely see what they were going for. And I think it was successful as it was executed. But not necessarily the most successful song on the album. When it really, I think it could have been because of all the ingredients. But it just, there's something missing. I'm not quite sure. Maybe the vocoder, I think, kind of ruins it. Either way, check it out. Next song is God Control. Now, this was a song that everybody on Twitter and social media was saying this is the best song. Because the album did leak a few days before it was released commercially. Everybody was going crazy. So once I found God Control online, once it was released, I was a little let down. It's disco. It's a good disco beat. But it has the same vocoder effect in the beginning where she's talking about... It's a song about gun control. I'm not crazy about this title being called God Control. I don't see the irony, or I don't see the artistic... It's kind of saying that without God, we have chaos. And I don't think that's necessarily true, because what if you're atheist, or you just don't believe in God, or whatever. So by naming it God Control, you're kind of saying we don't have God control, meaning we don't have gun control. Not crazy about the title, but the song itself really doesn't mention God. It does. I'm sorry. They've lost God control. But it's an interesting song, and it has a choir near the end, which is good. It's a good choir. They sound well. They blend well with Madonna. My problem are the extreme clumsiness of the lyrics, which Madonna is not great at political songs. It's a song she's making an attempt at gun control, which is amazing, but it tells a story kind of in the beginning of, you know, everyone knows the truth, how this country's lost respect, and how basically we just have to accept what's going on, meaning all the shootings, and just take the kids to school. Okay. And there were some allegations from a songwriter who worked with Mirwais that intro was written by him, and that Madonna stole that intro and then put it on her song. Whether Mirwais took it and gave it to Madonna as his contribution or whatever, that kind of upsets me, because does it really take 3 people to write God Control? It's a very simple song. I don't understand why no one could just write that on their own, because it's a rather like I've written songs. It's not that hard. Like, why would you need an extra person to write God Control? Anyway, God Control later kind of goes into this repetitive wake up stance. Like, she just really wants everyone to wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. She keeps saying it over and over. So she really wants people to wake up. Although I think she's going for the audience that's already conscious of the problem in America with guns. So what, that's great. The video is not, I would say, as successful as the song, which I do like the song, by the way. I think it's great. It sounds great on vinyl because the disco, I think has a great bass line, great strings, has a good melody. There is a rap in the middle done by Madonna, and I don't think she should do raps. But here's the thing about the rap. Okay, I'm sorry. The first part of the rap goes really well with the music. and it's fun, and it works. The second part, they slow the music down to like a halt while she's rapping, which makes you have to focus on the rap. And it's pretty bad. So like, let's say the rap is 40 seconds. I like 20 seconds of it, the first 20 seconds, and then the second 20 seconds are rather bad. I'm not quite sure why she went in that direction, but either way, the video, like I said, it's okay. It's supposed to show a story of Madonna going out, and then there's a shooting in the club. And then she's held at gunpoint outside as well before she goes into the club. So there's just a bunch of guns. I feel like it's one of her best attempts at videos. So let me explain. She has videos where she obviously didn't have time to do videos, like songs like Celebration or I'll Remember. Like clearly she had like one day to shoot these. This one seemed a little bit more involved. There's a plot, there's different costumes, there's lighting and depth. There's a depth to the video. But I feel like it's so edited and so shot in a way that it kind of doesn't make an impact on me in terms of gun control. And I'm strongly for that, and it doesn't really reinforce it. And the way they show that there's victims of the shooter on the floor, and it's just the way they're posed. It's just a little cartoonish and a little disrespectful in my opinion. It's just a video you can watch once and kind of know if you like it or not. It's not one that, I don't feel it's well done. I really wish she could have worked with David Fincher. She keeps working with Jonas Arkelon since Ray of Light, and he doesn't make great videos. He makes okay videos, but I feel like David Fincher made so much better videos. And I understand David Fincher is doing movies now. He's not making videos, but pay him enough, I'm sure he would do a video for you. I don't know if they, or even Mark or a new director who has maybe a little bit more control over the editing, and doesn't rely so much on editing, because I think that's the problem. There's just so many shots in God Control. It's like here, 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 here. But the song itself is good. It would be nice if there was an edit where they took out certain parts, but it's a good song. It's just a little much at times. I still like it. I'm just I guess I'm a little confused on my opinion on it. It's definitely a great song. Check it out to form your own opinion on it. Like I said, it's disco, so that's fun. That's great. I love that. It sounds great on vinyl. Just not crazy with the lyrics. The number 4 is Future featuring Quavo. Or Quavo. This song is good. It's definitely a step down from God Control in terms of quality. This is basically talking about guns preventing people from being part of the future, and people who are here weren't part of the past. But then there's things like where Madonna, she doesn't say future, she says future. And in the beginning, she talks about how you ain't woke, come get woken. It's probably her most cringeworthy moments on the record. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I'm not crazy about Madonna saying the word woke. It's a very hashtag word. I mean, I kind of feel she could have been more creative with, trying to. I mean, who is her market in this? That's the thing. Like, who is the one listening to this? I don't think it's going to be, fans of trap music. I think it's. I mean, they may, and that's great if they do. But I think that if you have a fan base, not so much cater to them, but maybe don't do things that will be like, maybe. The song is a little bit more reggae than she's done. It's actually produced with Diplo, and this song I think he showed restraint. It's actually good and has a great horn breakdown between the chorus and the next verse. So I like it. The rap itself by Quavo, not great. I would have cut it out. He's okay, but it's definitely, we didn't need it. I kind of think I think they're friends, and I think that she was on one of his songs, Champagne Rose. I think I could have done without it. But it's a good song. Next song is Batuka, which is kind of where the album gets its real, like, weird but authentic, grainy, organic self. It's a great song, which I think is thinly veiled about Donald Trump, about how we need to, rebel and get this man out of power, put him in jail so that he can no longer hurt people. He can no longer, destroy things. So there is politicalness in this album, and I think Batuka is much better. Madonna is subtle in the song. It's just a song about where she's kind of like the leader of this bunch in a song, or a leader of something. There's a strong implication that they're going to rebel. Like in the middle of the night, kind of like huntresses or something, warriors, And it's subtle, like it's subtle. The song does not automatically think of politics, but it is a political song. I think it is her most successful political song that's not about sex or feminism or anything. Like, to be actually about politics, like actual politics and what's wrong with the world. This is a good song about that. It could be treated, it's kind of like vocal chant, vocal chant. So she'll say a line and then the chant will be that line again. So it's a long way and then it's a long way. So that could be a little annoying, but once you get used to that, which you do, if you watch the video is gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's one of her best videos of the decade. Way better than God Control. It shows restraint. Oh my gosh. Such a breath of fresh air after God Control, which is clumsy, and Future, which has some cringeworthy lines. You have a song that really just matches the artistic integrity of Madonna, and kind of like, even though it's different, it's like you can be different, you can be experimental, you can make music that isn't pop for a pop audience. But you don't have to cater to like this like hashtag woke or be clumsy. You can just be an artist. And I think I cannot stress, enough, wow, she was subtle about it. And she could have really let loose on it and be less subtle, and it still would have been a success because it's so subtle. That you don't even think what's going on. I didn't know what it was about at first. So when you don't know what's about, and then later as you look deeper, and you have to look deeper, that's amazing to me. I love the fact that she left a song like that on the record. And she did make it a video, and it's a beautiful video. Please check it out. Next song is Killers Who Are Partying, which I think is the best song on the album. It's not as subtle as Batuka in terms of politics. It is a political song where she likens herself to a lot of groups who either, have it difficult or have hate groups against them, where she talks about being gay, she talks about being a woman who was raped, she talks about being, in Africa, which Africa isn't a country, but either way, I see her point, it's established, it just fits, I guess the word Africa just fits better than individual countries as a whole. But either way, it's a great song. Very weird, very vocoder, but it has a beautiful instrumental breakdown. And it's so ambiance, and it would fit with Ray of Light. It's gorgeous. It's world music. She also sings Italian in it, and it's so beautiful. It's one of my favorite songs by her, and definitely the best song on the album. Please check it out. It definitely deserves more streams. It's not getting the most, because it's a kind of a, if you just listen to it like as a pop fan, someone who wants something catchy and something to dance to, it's not that. But it's such a beautiful, understated song. And even though the lyrics are a little in your face about it, the way she constructs it, I would say, is much more successful than God Control, because it really kind of makes you think of those things in a serious matter, as opposed to God Control, which just hits you over the head with it to the point where you're like, I just don't care. Next song is Crave with Sway Lee. This is one of her best songs on the album. It has like an R&B acoustic twinge to it. Very beautiful, very, very catchy. Very, like, I kind of feel this could have been the first single. But it in a way, it reminds me of Secret, and how it's acoustic R&B, There's remixes done by Tracy Young that are pretty good. They're not the best remixes, but they're pretty good. A little bit repetitive. I love the song as it is. The video's a little boring for a Madonna video, which I found weird. Because her videos are not typically boring, but this one was just nothing really happens. But the song itself is quite gorgeous, and it did achieve some success on adult contemporary charts and the music and the dance charts. Other than that, this album has no hits at all. It's not, the main public doesn't know about the songs, but I think of all the songs, this is probably the best for the public to hear. It's just a really good song. Sway Lee's rap doesn't detract from the song. He doesn't really add to it. I would have preferred if he wasn't part of it, to be honest. But like I said, he kind of flows with it as best as he can. I just don't think the song needs a rap. But he doesn't really rap. He's more like, he more sings. I mean, it's more of a vocal type of a duet, not necessarily like a featuring, because he's not rapping the whole time or anything. It's nothing embarrassing. And like I said, if you're gonna check out the album, that would probably be the song, and then God Control if you don't care about the lyrics. Yeah. Next song is Crazy. Crazy, I feel, is the blandest song on the album. It has a very Love on the Brain by Rihanna type production. Although there's some accordions in the beginning, so you're like, oh, this will be cool, and then it just thrusts you into the overproduced, very simple, very generic type song. It's like I said, it sounds like Love on the Brain, just like this whole neo 60s soul, but they're not capturing the magic of 60s soul with this song at all. It's not as bad as Love on the Brain, but it's up there. It has a good melody at times. I'll give it that. It's just not the strongest song on the record. I know that a lot of fans love Crazy, so don't skip it. Definitely, listen to it. See if you like it. But I'm not a huge fan. The next song is Come Alive. Come Alive is good. It's a little bit more political than, Crave and Crazy. I think it's just being about herself, and Come Alive kind of being, who like coming to realization of who you are and being who you are. It's kind of a repetitive song. I think it's a weaker non-commercial song. So it's a good song that's not, it's not trying too hard, but it's just not my favorite. It's definitely not one that I would listen to all the time. In fact, this is side C, and it has Crazy, Come Alive, and then the other two songs. Not my favorite side. Next song is Extreme Occident, and this song is about her travels as a person, her stages in life and her journey. It's rather beautiful, and it's kind of stuck between these other songs that I'm not a big fan of, so it does kind of get lost in the shuffle, but if you just listen to it on, shuffle, it's rather beautiful and impactful in its message and her vocal delivery. She's very vocal, she emits a lot of emotions in the album, so I'm a big fan of that. It just talks about her, how, she failed basically, but she didn't feel that she was lost. And that's beautiful to me, because you feel like you're doing well, you feel like you know what you're doing, and then and it's like, wow, Madonna is human. Okay. Next song is Faz Gostoso, which features Anita. Now, I would say hands down this is the worst song on the album. It sounds like something that the Pussycat Dolls would have done had they traveled to Portugal for the day. Just definitely not a great song. It's a cover, but they rewrote it. It's heavily rewritten. Anita adds nothing. And I don't know, I think Madonna was trying to do a video with Anita or something, and nothing ever had materialized. And I'm not sure if that was Anita's fault, whatever. But I'm glad. I'm not a fan of Anita. Her voice is very thin, very lacks of impact. I'm pretty sure she has maybe a billion fans, whatever, but for my opinion, I think her voice is just nasal and distracting, and the song itself is just, it sounds like a bad stripper song, a very bad stripper song, and it's definitely going for that sexy vibe, and Pussycat Dolls, and yeah, and it has a it doesn't actually have bravado, but yeah, it's weak. People who are fans of it may just like that it's a funky dance, not a funky. People who like it just like it's probably that it's a dance song, and the album doesn't really have a lot of dance songs. So once they found one, they probably like, okay, I like this. But as a whole, I would say it has one of the weakest melodies, production, and Anita. It just I just really don't, yeah, like 1 star out of 10. It's definitely the worst song for me. Next song is Bitch I'm Loca, which is her second collaboration with Maluma. This also is reggaeton type, a little bit more hardcore than Medellín. Great song, great dance song, more fun, very simple, but again, it's not embarrassing. It doesn't try too hard. It's just they're having fun. Madonna and Maluma have fun together, and that's the best part of their collaborations. As you can tell, they had a lot of good times making these songs, and not only a good time making the songs, but they're successful. Like they go well together. They blend well. Like it's just. I hope they do more songs. They have 3. But, you know, why not more? Why not more? Next song is I Don't Search, I Find, which is something like Vogue Part 2. It's good, but it sounds a little unfinished. There's not a lot of lyrics. It's a bit repetitive, and she keeps talking, and Madonna fans have taken to saying, finally enough love. Okay. I don't think it's a strong vocal song. I like the house beat. It's very deep house meets 2018, but on a very successful level. Living for Love from Rebel Heart also did like a deep house tribute type sound, and it flopped. They put way too much 2015 into it, 2014, and it sounds like garbage. This one sounds very clean, very beautiful, very, very majestic. It's a great song. If you don't listen to the lyrics, if you're just playing it on the record, it is a good song. It's a very good song. But once you start paying attention to the repetitiveness of it and how it's not that interesting of a song, you may not like it as much. But like I said, this album, I love it, but it's also very context. Like, if you're just enjoying it for the music, if you're just, atmospheric, it's a great song. It sounds like Vogue. It's like they took the strings and distorted them. I like that, but it kind of does make you just want to listen to Vogue. But it's a good song on its own. I'm glad they kept it on the album. There are some remixes now that have been officially released. They're okay. They're okay. I would not, I know a lot of fans like to collect those, but next song is Looking for Mercy, which is a great song about how Madonna is human and how she does struggle and how she has low points and how she has vulnerability, and it's a very beautiful song. It's a little like Frozen and how beautiful it is, but a little bit more pop. Definitely would have fit on Ray of Light had they done some tweaks to the production. I love it. It's a great song. Beautiful, and I love how vulnerable Madonna is in the song. And it's quite catchy. It's a quite catchy song. Definitely check it out. The next and last song is I Rise. This song was the second, I guess, promo single. At first, I kind of hated this song. I thought it was very bad. And there's this intro of Emma Gonzalez screaming, at a political platform. Not a fan. I was not a fan of that. I felt like what's going on. Emma went on later to insult Madonna's God Control video, kind of the way I did, because she said it was disrespectful that it's based on Pulse's shooting, but you didn't hire Pulse people, you didn't consult with Pulse people. So there's a little bit of beef there between the two. And, the song was later remixed by Tracy Young, who won a Grammy for the remix. And the remix is amazing. I love the remix. It's beautiful, like ambiance house. Very dancey, but not too dancey, kind of chill. And it definitely brings out the beauty of the song. And it kind of makes you go back and like, okay, this song is not that bad. I actually like the production on the original. I don't think the production of the vocals and the production of the original go as well together, even though I like both on their own. And then once they remixed it with Tracy Young, oh my god, it's so beautiful. Definitely want to check out. There are bonus songs on the CD. There's a bonus CD that has songs such as Banana, which I was not a fan of. Then there's Back That Thing Up, which was a demo she did with Pharrell with the Rebel Heart era. They remixed it, or they reproduced it, and released it as a bonus. I prefer the original demo, which you can find on YouTube. It's more like neo-soul dance music, I guess. A little simple, but still, the remix is very much in tune with the album, and I just don't think it's as successful. And that's a shame, because it's his first official release, and, you know, fans do love that demo. The next one would be Ciao Bella, which I think is one of the strongest songs on the record. I wish he would have cut Faz Gostoso and Crazy and made it 13 songs, and then added Ciao Bella as the 14th song. And I think that would have been a really, really strong record. I really wish it would have cut Crazy and Faz Gostoso, because I think those are throwaway songs. And I'm sure everyone out there, the Madonna fans, are thinking, oh no, I love that song, it's my favorite song. I'm just not a fan of it. Anyway, so we'll take a look at the album. So there's a cover. There's 3 covers. This is the official one. The inner sleeve. Okay. Some nice jewelry. And then you have... Kind of upsetting because there's so many photos from the area. This is the back cover of the sleeve. And this has the... And you can see that Madonna did not need as much collaborators as Rebel Heart. This is the disc. Pretty cool, X. And then I also wanted to show you, I have the deluxe edition, which has a bunch of photos, the CDs. I love this cover. I think this should have been the official everywhere cover. This is my favorite cover of the album, by far. I also have the Rainbow Edition, which... And then it has the song titles here. There's no production credits. You can still get this, pretty available. I love it. I have not used it, but I use it for decoration of the house, because I can't play it, you know. It's too beautiful. I do also have the blue vinyl, which is pretty rare, although it's hidden away and such. Either way, I would definitely check this album out. It's a great, successful album. I know that I kind of tore it to shreds here and there, but overall, it's a very strong album. Buy the vinyl, play it, just relax and enjoy it. I wouldn't compare it to Ray of Light or American Life. It's kind of its own thing. And definitely one of her most experimental albums, one of her most unique albums and interesting albums, but also, you know, there's some songs that just aren't amazing. Definitely, I would say probably 4 stars out of 5. And like I said, the best album of the decade. By the way, the decade was pretty weak with music. But definitely check this out. Give it a chance. It's available on stream. But I would suggest the vinyl. And if you can get the blue vinyl, that's even better because it's pretty rare. Anyways, let me know your favorite song on the album, your least favorite songs, what you thought about the album, and any comments on the video itself. Thanks so much, and like if you like, subscribe if you love, and have a great day.